today we're going to be practicing the Gestalt therapy for Dr. Grice's class. It's CP 6610. I'll be playing the counselor and she will be playing the client. Hello Anna, glad you could make it today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Things could be going better though.
Things could be going better. Well, what's been going on?
Well, I had a bad weekend. My boyfriend John and I got into it again because he's drinking and it just got out of control. I mean, I know I have mentioned this to you before that he tends to drink too much sometimes, and it usually creates problems for us. It's really taken a toll on me lately. I just continue to have anxiety when I think about it, how he acts, and he cannot stop drinking.
Well, tell me more about what happened this past weekend.
Well, where do I start? It was on Friday night, and we went out to dinner, and we got drinks with friends, and this is usually typically what we do on most Friday nights. It's normal, it starts out good and fun. We're just eating, enjoying good company with friends. But then of course, as the night goes on, John just keeps drinking, and he just keeps drinking, and everyone else stopped drinking, but he just keeps on and on. I tried to tell him, he needs to slow down because he's getting out of hand, but he doesn't listen to me. He just keeps doing what he wants to do. Now it's probably around 2 a.m. or so. I'm exhausted. I've worked all day and I'm ready to go. He's not ready to go. He doesn't want to go home, and like normal, it caused us to argue in front of our friends, so I went home and I left him out. He didn't come home till the next morning around 8 a.m. I hate when he does that because it makes me worried about where he is. It gives me anxiety thinking about what he could be doing, if he's going to get in trouble. Plus, it's embarrassing for me to have our friends see that side of him, and they all know he stayed out, and then I went home alone.
So the night starts out good, and then he continued to drink when you felt he should have slowed down or stopped, which led y'all to argue.
Yeah, that's right.
And you did not like this because he would not listen to you, and your friends saw it happening, which is uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's really frustrating because it continues to happen with no regard to how it makes me feel, which makes me in turn feel sad.
I see. Have you tried talking to him about it and how it makes you feel?
I think he knows probably that it embarrasses me and I don't like it because it makes me uncomfortable, but he keeps doing it. Then again, I always brush it off because it's easier. He doesn't understand why I have anxiety, and I can't really talk to him about it.
Tell me more about the next day when he comes home.
Well, he comes home the next day, normally apologizes for not coming home, says it won't happen again. I know it will though, and I think he knows it will happen again too. I often have thought if I would get the courage to tell him how it really makes me feel, that it makes me not want to be with him, then maybe he would understand how serious this is for me.
What is holding you back from telling him this?
It's scary. I'm fearful that he will just get angry, he might threaten to break up with me, turn it around on me, making me feel like it's my fault. I don't mind going out for a couple of drinks, but he sometimes gets mad and annoyed that I don't enjoy drinking as much as he does. So I'm worried if we were to say something, he would just blame it on me. Like I'm the problem instead of him drinking too much, because that's the problem. And I'm really just stuck right now, and I thought of all stresses me out and gives me anxiety.
I think what could help in this situation is here today practicing what you really want to say to your boyfriend when he comes in from a long night of drinking. I think it may help you to talk out the conversation with what you want to say to your boyfriend, John, without being in fear and having so much anxiety.
That sounds really good, and it might be able to help. How would something like that work exactly?
Well, there is a technique called the empty chair technique, and it is pretty simple. We have an empty chair, and you would envision that your boyfriend John is in the chair and play out the conversation you want to have with him as if he's there. So you would be able to say what you really want to say to him. Do you feel comfortable trying this?
It seems kind of silly talking to an empty chair, but I'm sure willing to at least give it a try.
Okay, and if it becomes too difficult, then we can stop the technique.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so here's the chair, and we're just gonna pretend like John's here in the chair with us.
Okay.
So what would you want to be able to say to him?
Well, for starters, I wish that you could control your drinking more. It's so embarrassing to have to go out with you knowing that you're going to drink too much and potentially not even come home the next day. I wish you could just stop and think about how it makes me feel when I have to go home alone. I just don't like it. My friends make comments about it, and I'm trying to have to deal with it. I'm tired of having to deal with it. I wish you didn't make me feel like it's my problem and that I should be okay with you staying out all night. Most girlfriends don't have to deal with this. It has become normal occurrence for us on the weekends. You expect to act like it's no big deal.
Okay, that's good. How do you think he would be responding at this point in time?
He'd probably act really annoyed, say how he doesn't want to hear any of this and it's over. He'd probably say something about how I overreact to everything, how I'm being dramatic, and that I make it out to be worse than it really is.
And how would you want to address that?
I would say to him that he's getting really angry for no reason, and then I'm trying to express how I feel about the situation because it seems like he doesn't care about how his actions affect me. I don't understand how he thinks we're going to be able to continue to be together and keep this relationship going if this doesn't get under control. He thinks it's okay for him to stay out and be getting drunk, and I'm supposed to just be at home waiting on him. I don't feel like it's fair for me to have to put up with that all the time.
How do you think he'd be reacting now?
He'd probably be even more annoyed and angry. I mentioned not being together because of it. My fear would be that he would use that against me, be okay with ending the relationship because my problem with his drinking. I think he'd continue to blame me and be in denial about the situation. He would act as if I'm the problem and that it's my fault. We did end the relationship, but I shouldn't have to tolerate that behavior. None of my friends' partners act that way. So I would tell him that we couldn't continue unless something changed with his drinking.
Okay, so tell him that.
Okay, John, I'm not going to continue to be with you unless something changes with your drinking. I deserve someone who values me for more than alcohol. I love you, and I don't want things to have to be this way, but our relationship can't continue in this manner.
So how does that feel, being able to say that out loud?
It's kind of difficult, but it's also nice to finally be able to say it out loud and not have to pretend as if there isn't a problem going on. I constantly find myself trying to ignore or act like nothing's wrong because it's easier than to have to face him. My friends will make comments at times about it, but I just ignore them. It's not fair for me to have to explain John's actions. It really scares me, creates anxiety for me, even to think about saying all this to him.
Are you surprised by how you were feeling after saying that?
Somewhat. It's more empowering though than I thought it would be. It's nice to kind of say how I felt instead of like bottling it up, my thoughts and feelings as if they don't exist.
Did you find this exercise to be useful at all for you?
Yeah. It helped me practicing saying everything out loud, not just it being in my head, because I have a lot of thoughts running through my mind sometimes and they get mixed up. Saying it out loud helped me clearly explain how I feel about the situation.
Right, that makes sense.
This was the first time I've said what I feel out loud to anyone. I have been ignoring this issue, and even with my friends, I would brush off any comments they would make. It's turned into the elephant in the room because everyone knows what's going on, but no one talks about it.
It is good to practice saying these things out loud and can be the first step in this process.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think it was a beneficial technique, and I believe that reflecting over everything you said today for the next few days would be a good idea.
Okay, yeah, I think I can do that.
For our next session, we can reflect on how you're feeling over the next week or so since you were able to say everything out loud today. The next step will be setting the goal of eventually saying how you feel to your boyfriend, as long as you're okay with that.
It seems scary right now. I hope I'll be able to get to that point.
We will continue to meet and use this technique and others to help you to become more comfortable with directly talking to your boyfriend, John. We will do this through phases.
Yeah, I think that could work.
Now that you have been able to say how you're feeling out loud to your boyfriend, how is your anxiety toward the situation?
I feel like there's some kind of hope now, maybe like a light at the end of the tunnel. feel like I'll be stuck in this situation forever. I feel lighter, like a small weight's been lifted. But by getting to express my feelings out loud in a safe space where no one can judge me, my anxiety at the moment's much less than it was before coming in and talking with you today.
That's good. We are moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I think so. Thanks for your help.
Plan to think about everything you said today, and next week we'll see how you are feeling and continue to move forward.
Sounds good. See you next week.